One of these days, I'm going to beat this game. Oh, hi. Good morning. Well, some interesting things happened over the weekend. MTG, or Marjorie Taylor Greene, as her mom likes to call her, has resigned. Well, announced her resignation. Now, why? A prominent Republican figure who just decides to quit while her party has a majority? Why? What makes this make sense? Well, there's a couple reasons that we can guess. She hasn't actually announced why, although there's a couple. I have a pretty good theory on why it's January 5th and not now. Actually, there's two reasons for January 5th, and I'll lay those out in just a little bit. But basically, short story, her and Trump are fighting, and she doesn't like it. Let's be honest. That's the reason. And she's like, oh, the party's divided, blah, blah, blah. It's not really divided. It's just Trump's being a little bit of a jerk to her, as he is to everybody who doesn't agree with him. Okay, he's Trump being Trump. You didn't know that the 5-6 years you've been around him? And now he's like, oh, well, you're a traitor, as he calls her. It's not that big of a deal. So, let's see here. USA Today has a few things on what they think might be the cause. They say that she's one of the few Republicans who joined Democrats to release the Epstein files. Considering that everybody already just voted on that, it was basically unanimous, almost, except for like one guy. I don't really think that's it. Now, Trump, doesn't like how she did that and stood with the Democrats at that time, but, that's in the past. Trump said he would not endorse her for her re-election. And then she said she didn't want to bother with a contested primary. You didn't want to, do the thing you're supposed to do. I'm sorry. That's just either lazy or fearful. It's just the party has changed. Not really. Republicans have been pretty much the same party, as much as Democrats hate it, since the Civil War. That's kind of our thing. Why do you think Trump's so against illegal immigration? Well, it's because it basically makes everyone who comes here illegally a slave to the system. And Democrats love their slaves. So now, there is one thing that she has done that I think that there is two reasons here that I think that she's going to be retiring on January 6th. Reason one, she's waiting for Trump to say sorry. Why? I have no idea. Trump is not usually the one to say sorry. But we'll see. Maybe there's some vote coming up that she knows about that we don't. I'm not convinced. Or, the reason it's January 5th, 2026, is because members of Congress must serve 5 years to be fully vested in the federal pension program. Now, she can't get that until she's 62, but getting full retirement, I'd probably stay working with a jerk too for a couple more months. Just saying. I've always thought that MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, was a little off her rocker a little bit. I'd watched her on a few podcasts, and she always looked like she was just a little bit crazy. Like she had some really crazy theories. But anyway, I don't think she was the most sane person in the Republican Party. Now, she's the kind of person, and you guys know, when Trump lost the 2020 election, there were people I knew who totally thought for months, if not a year, that he was still actually president. That he was still running things. They'd see helicopters flying and plane jets going everywhere and be like, that's Trump. I'm like, probably not. I mean, that'd be one really big secret to keep. I'm not one to go for most conspiracy theories, especially ones that require a lot of people to lie and stay lying for a long time and stay lying while sober a long time. Have you ever seen people in government and Congress stay sober? Not many of them do. I recall when Obama was going after Osama bin Laden, an interview was done, and one of the people that knew about it was talking about how they were terrified that Pakistan would find out, or that the secret would get leaked, because they had a few people in that knew, and they were terrified that in the next few days they'd spill the beans, either by accident or whatever. And one of them was saying it was during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And during that, I think it was Seth Meyers made several jokes and cracks at Obama for not catching the guy. That was good jokes. I mean, they're funny. That was back when SNL had somewhat of a comedic tone, although they would rarely poke fun at Obama. If they did, it was almost like a compliment kind of joke. But for Obama's credit, he kept a straight face. I couldn't believe it. Because when he said, "Oh, you didn't catch the guy," and I'm like, literally the next night, he's catching the guy and killing him. So he stood there and this is the guy, great performance. Love him or hate him, he had the air of presidency to him. And I think can't be lost. I love Trump, but to say he's what you typically think of as a president is not necessarily the truth. I'd say he's the wild card you need right now, but he wouldn't go, "Oh, that's presidential material." He's the guy. He's like a bull in a china shop. He's there to fix things and break things down, and that's what needs to be done. The whole system needs to be broken down to its core elements and then rebuilt, which is what Trump's doing, and he's doing a good job at it. But MTG, yeah, I'm just not a fan of her. I haven't been much of a fan of her ever since she came out. Since she was getting really prominent in Congress. Rarely did I find that I agreed with her, but I never thought she was like a bad person or she has some bad ideas and some conspiracy theories that I thought were just a little too out there. If it's like I said, if it takes too many people to keep a secret, you just can't do it. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. When they were worried about the Osama bin Laden thing, they were like, "There's like 100 people in here, and 20 of them know about what's about to happen, and there's a lot of drinking going on. Are we going to be able to keep this a secret?" Probably not. But, hey, they were, at least for all we know. One of his probably biggest successes, I think. Of course, you could have the conspiracy theorists that say that it never happened, that he's still out there. I doubt that. But what do you guys think? You fans of MTG? I'm not a hater. I don't think anything bad about her. Just I don't like quitters. I don't like quitters. And I think her quitting right after she gets retirement is just plain, "I'm going to do this for the money." If it was for principles, which is what you would think, to be fair, she hasn't actually said why she's leaving, but mostly it's probably because Trump's being a jerk to her and that he's not going to help her win re-election. Not a reason to quit. There are plenty of members of Congress that Trump's a jerk to, and they still do their job every day. What are you going to say to your donors? I'm sure she had a lot of people donate money to her campaign for re-election, and she's like, "Nah, you know what? I'm going to quit." Do they get their money back? Are you going to pay them back? They spent a lot of money to get you re-elected, and you're just going to be like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't need it." That's just not right. I don't like quitters. I remember when what's her face? Nikki Haley quit being governor a few years ago. Did not like that. And ever since then, I was just not been a fan of her. I know she helped Trump. I don't like quitters. Just can't. You're paid to do a job, get it done. Yeah, retire, but you signed on for 2 years or 4 years or however many years you have. Finish it. Either get fired or do your job. That's it. Your constituents paid you to do this job, voted for you to do this job, came out, spent an hour or two out of their day, took time off from work to go vote for you, and you're just going to be like, "Nah, I'm going to quit. That's not worth my time." Well, it was worth our time to get you in there. So I'm not a fan of quitters. I'm just not. But some people can deal with it. Not me. Anyway, what do you guys think? Leave me a comment below. Sorry if my voice is a little off. Still getting over a cold. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Looking forward to it. I get to have 2 this year, so it's going to be awesome. I love turkey. I'm hoping one of them is a fried turkey, but I don't think it's going to be, but I really hope it's fried. Anyway, have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time.